Welcome to this emergency edition of This Month in Sudoku. There have been a lot of new Sudoku doors opening in the last week or two, including one that just opened overnight, and so we want to make sure we got this edition out today. There's more we want to be sharing, but these videos are not the top priority, and we wish there were a news source that was covering all the great puzzle news every week. We're now making news week by week if you're actually watching the whole world and not just a few small places. And so there's going to be something different in this world in Sudoku if we can achieve it, be part of it in the next 12 months. We're now 3 months through our 12-month in Sudoku project, and everything has been going great as far as we're concerned. We're curious what you think. Please tell us in the comments. Please like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff. Please send us Sudoku if you think it's interesting to me. We're not joking when we ask for that. If you have a science Sudoku idea, please send it to us. Let me tell you about a science Sudoku idea that I want to license and hope I can license as soon as possible. There's a brilliant chemist that's making Sudoku puzzles. It's not me. I may also fit this description, but I mean a different person who is actually still teaching chemistry and doing chemistry. Like right now, I'm on a hiatus from being able to do very active science. I do some consulting, but like I'm kind of rediscovering and reemerging my professional life after some health issues. I want to talk about someone else. And so this is someone I met in April at SudokuCon that's doing a project. There's a Patreon, you can fund it. He's basically trying to tell the story of the entire periodic table at the same time using Sudoku to be part of that. So this is not only a book of Sudoku, this is also a book about the elements, but each element is highlighted in a very special and a chemist-only appreciated way to sort of make it with an approachable puzzle. This is not impossibly difficult, but these will be rewarding puzzles to solve. I'm showing you an example for iron. There was a SudokuCon stream a week or two ago that was showing some of his construction process. I've already become a donor. I'm going to try to write a bonus puzzle for the series. It will be in the book, maybe talked other way. I may even be able to stream a puzzle of rockratzero here in the future. Definitely want to highlight projects like this. And part of what I hope a future month of This Month in Sudoku is doing is starting to bring other players that are really active in the scene to a new ecosystem for all of this, all of us to see. And so that's where I want to sort of really, in this third month of the This Month in Sudoku series, give you a little bit of a zoom out from a professional, not just where is the next cave puzzle going to be in Grandmaster Puzzles, Thomas, please, we want cave puzzles, we want top of puzzles, why did you stop subscriptions? Our work wasn't working, but there was the opportunity to start to have a very broad swath of things that could actually build the space where then other authors and others will turn on puzzles. Like Star Battle, we'll do 12 months of Star Battle in the future. This 12 months in Sudoku started by saying, is there a place to start to merge into the community that grew up in the pandemic in the right way for that community to see the first steps taken by a serious puzzle maker to actually like encourage that community to do things? And so we licensed the gas puzzles. I want to be very clear, we licensed the gas puzzles. We did not take their copyright. We give them the same rate every day we gave our authors through the history of the Grandmaster Puzzles site. We don't know how to commercialize with them yet. We are going to sort of do that better in the future, but we are effectively around the scale of their Patreon donations just for free, and I put in about 10 hours a month to just make their puzzles be on our blog. That's also for free. Like, I'm not charging them, so we can just have the puzzles somewhere. We think their puzzles are awesome. We know eventually some other puzzles should probably also be categorized this way, not freely put on a website that then some streamers find and monetize for themselves without properly valuing. The authors are the heart of this community, and then the audience that solves these puzzles. And we love Gas, and we hope Gas will love us. We've had a great start with the relationship there, and we haven't really turned on anything different. They've not changed their process. We're just now part of wanting to license their work and encouraging them to do more. And this is the first step, but not the only step, in what we'll call the cryptic Sudoku space. But the cryptic Sudoku space is small. The space of people who solve Sudoku every day is much larger by at least 1,000-fold. And so we've been trying to start to merge the niche of Grandmaster Puzzles to the cryptic community to now the general community and have a full story for Sudoku. That is how the conversation on Sudoku changes. And that's where like even July isn't, in how some people have been viewing it, the right thing of saying what's coming next. It's the tip of the iceberg on the wrong side of it. You want to look at the base of the iceberg I can't talk about now, but I wanted to get back into saying, could I myself be constructing new ideas, new experiences? Could I test things in a way I've never tested before? And hopefully I have an audience this time. I've made a Sudoku puzzle hunt with 0 solvers, 0 players. I've now made a Sudoku puzzle hunt that has something like 3 to 10 players, and they're actually getting through it. It's not been instantly solved. But overnight, we had the first door of 3 solved in this. This is a million paperclip overall prize. Well, 100,000 paperclips was won last night by the solvers, question mark, question mark, question mark, question mark, then 6 question marks, 6 question marks. We've kept the identity secret except for those who know how to be in the know, because the AI solving this puzzle hunt might choose to do some weird things because they can't solve the puzzles, but they might know the people solving the puzzles. Anyway, there's a story. It's not important. What's important is some people are doing some awesome solves, and we're going to be able to unlock more content that was not in the direct website, grandmasterpuzzles.com/blog, but was part of this puzzle hunt now that some of these things have been finished. So if you're looking for some more puzzles, some of the puzzle hunt content will be out there, but there's a lot you haven't seen, even in the puzzle hunt, because you've probably not been playing. So for the audience who is watching and has been playing, congratulations to this team. One third of the doors are solved. Who knows what's coming, but this could accelerate quite quickly. This could still take some time. This is its own sort of project. But it wasn't just a project to be a puzzle hunt for people to solve. I was also releasing test puzzles you may not have recognized were for different things I was doing, but not finding a home for yet. So why was I making grids like these? I told you some of the stories. Like, I make grids like these to make hard grids that have really compelling stories because I subtract givens to make the final classic Sudoku puzzle. I don't know anyone else in the world that makes Sudoku this way. I have 5 ways I make Sudoku. This is one of my magic. I've now revealed it to the world. I'm still waiting for anyone to use the Snyder cut of one of my puzzles to be inspiring in how they make a puzzle. I've actually seen something from Circon recently that exactly kind of followed my idea. But the top one, I call a mini Sudoku. 6x6 grid, but in a 9x9 context. It was an idea we had that might have been a thing to commercialize as a faster Sudoku game. Removing some of the cells in the 9x9 Sudoku. This is extra space as I used to do it in very large form, but bringing it back to a smaller form. And probably going to 5 cells or 4 cells is better than 6 cells. And I certainly made puzzles that needed remote pairs and other difficult steps because I just wanted to start with the audience who was going to be solving on my site, not the audience that's going to be playing their first Sudoku ever. But there's a lot of stuff we were playing with around the theme of mini Sudoku. So what is the actual story for August? Again, not the whole 12 months, for August, the 3rd month. The story is the most important professional partnership in my life to this moment. I've been a fan of Nickley for years. They originated the style of Sudoku. I've never had a puzzle in one of their books. I'm now a partner with Nickley. I'm the editor for Nickley, is one way to think of it. They provide some puzzles. I provide the other puzzles. On LinkedIn, we have a daily mini Sudoku game. And we don't have to show you on this slide what mini Sudoku is. It could be as exciting as some of the stuff is. It could be something else we eventually chose to launch. This is the most important professional partnership to this moment in my life. I also have something else coming up this year that's more exciting. So, like, this is if you want to understand why I'm seeming a little like what's coming, like this is something you may not be the audience for, but should appreciate is kind of very different and very important, and it builds in a different way to what we're trying to do. And so we're going to do some watch alongs. I think the audio will be okay. I don't have an editor. I don't have a chief of staff. Like, this is still a startup of Sudoku, which is honestly just me with partners like LinkedIn and Nickley that give me advice on like what our videos should look like. But there's a story that's emerging about what Sudoku should be. And it's not what you'll find in some of the most commonly played apps today with generators from 20 years ago that aren't pushing the art. It's something more like this.
41 years ago, a small Japanese magazine called Nickley took a little-known puzzle and turned it into the Sudoku we all know and love. Yet the world never truly knew who was behind its rise. For decades, Nickley worked in quiet brilliance, handcrafting puzzles in Japan. But now, for the first time ever, the originators of Sudoku are bringing their craft to millions on LinkedIn, and they didn't come alone. They've teamed up with Thomas Snyder, who is the 3-time World Sudoku Champion and the editor of our daily Queens, Tango, and Zip Codes. Together, we've created something new, a bite-sized version of the classic that can be solved in 3 minutes or less. Like our other games, this one is more than just fun. It's a daily challenge and a reason to connect with someone in your network. It's a faster, exclusive take on iconic games. 2 legends, 1 mini, only on LinkedIn. 41.
Now, we'll eventually have some different thoughts here, and there were things like this is a 3-minute puzzle. For some people it is, for beginners it's not, but we hope that people get to there. I think everything that you'd expect to have from a group like this, whether it's even me making a puzzle that looks like the LinkedIn logo, we called it Little In. Like, there's something different we're now trying. And again, what you try and what succeeds, you never know. But I'm honored to have been included and gotten to this space in my career, and I'm honored that Nickley wants to work with us too, and that this has happened. Like, again, you're not the audience for this, but this to me is amazing. And so if you want the simple videos of Snyder having fun, like, I make them every day. Some of my favorite ones now are, we'll go through 1 or 2 of them. I'm just gonna like Just play them. Hello, and welcome to today's mini Sudoku called Slants. We're going to show you a little bit more how world champion solvers solve puzzles. First, I solve with my superhero glasses. But second, and as I click over the puzzle, I'm just going to go as fast as I can. I'm not going to talk about things. We're going to then slow down and sort of go through how I went through the puzzle. About 16 seconds is the answer to that question. And that's a little faster than, it's certainly faster in a second per number. It's about 0.66 per number. There are 24 numbers to fill in with this grid at the start. Now, Sudoku has a lot of ways to go about it. You can think of it like a toolbox, and you've got a hammer, and you've got a screwdriver, and you've got a drill. You've got all these sorts of tools to use. Not every Sudoku needs a hammer, and not every step should start with a hammer. But where does the eye of a world-class solver go to? I'm going to go to the places that are most likely to have progress. And I'm certainly going to start with the place that's 100% likely to have a number I can write right now. I'll always go to a space like this first before I do anything else. I'm not looking at the numbers 1 and trying to place a 1 here or a 1 here. I'm looking at the absolute placement. And every time I solve this puzzle, if you scrambled it, rotated it, did anything to confuse me about it, that's the first place my eye goes. And this now sets up the most likely 2 either or option space. Everything else has 3 choices right now. This is an either or space. So I'm going to come to this. I could mentally write 2, 3 on the edges, but as I'm writing them on the edges, I'm looking up and seeing a 2. And so writing this 2, writing this 3, these are always the first numbers I put in this puzzle. I'm probably now looking vertically with the numbers, and I can't place a 3, but I can place a 2. So I get to here. And now I could do a few different things, but what I really want to do is look in this column, which has 2 options. 1 with 4, 1 with 4. But again, I have a 1 in the cell, so this is actually 4 over 1. And the 2 4s give this 4, which finishes this out. The 2 1s would give this 1, which work together to finish this out. And get to another place, we're just going to pause and say, like, where would you look at this moment? Like, this cell's absolutely 4. That's okay. This cell is a 1 3. It's not okay. But these are just, these look in the space of seeing 6 numbers just as good to your eyes. So I'm not looking at these yet. I'm looking at the mostly completed row that has 2, not 3 choices left for it. And again, I'm thinking 1 with 2, and then looking down below, seeing the 1, and placing a 1 with 2, placing more 1s and 2s. Now shifting to the remaining 3 and a 3. I have a 4, 5 space, which gives me 4 and 5, and just tracking up 4, 5, 6. So it's not random search, it's deliberate search. And I'm tracking where I've looked and going to places I haven't looked before. But I start from the easiest spots, the lowest hanging fruit, and work my way up the tree. And if you get used to thinking about that with how you approach Sudoku with your own skills, whether it's all of the toolbox or just your hammer, put your hammer on the easiest nails first, and then figure out how to drive the other harder things later. Anyway, I hope you got something from that video, and please come back tomorrow for another mini Sudoku. And it's easier when I have like 10 takes and it's only a short video to kind of like get the message across and clearly and not kind of like have the emotion show up. But there's still a lot to process with this, but mini Sudoku is the start of, regular Sudoku is the start of mega Sudoku. Like there's something real here, at least for me, at least for what I consider my story, where my life is not just about puzzle solving, it's not just about puzzle making, but what does it mean for me to be Dr. Sudoku? This is what it means to be Dr. Sudoku. Welcome to today's mini Sudoku called Plus Times. This is a special grid I wrote with a 1 to 5 shape and 2 to 6 shape in the opposite corners that are the plus and time symbols. Sudoku is not an arithmetic puzzle, it's a logical puzzle, but some people think of math when they think of Sudoku, and so it's always nice to have a math-based theme. Today I wanted to highlight something special which we haven't done before, which is to talk about my notation style in Sudoku in general. And this is a style for speed solving which focuses on sure numbers and on either or positions. So let's just go in order 1 through 6 and talk about so-called Snyder notation. I did not call it Snyder notation, I just call it notation, but it's gotten my name because the community now recognizes it's pretty good. If I look at 1s, I don't get any spot where I reduce down to just 2 options in a box. But if I look at 2s, here's a space where there are 2 spots for a 2. On paper, I'd actually write the 2 on the edge of these cells, so it's a little cleaner. but one of these two cells has a 2, and nowhere else in this box right now has a 2. After I've marked a notation in the box, I'm not thinking of 2s anywhere else, and I don't have to scan elsewhere to see the 2s again. And the upper right has the same constraint, that the 2s coming across leave just 2 positions for a 2. Looking at the 3s, I see a 3 note here, I see 3 notes here, and I see another set of notes here. And this is the first magic of my notation. When the notes collide, they form a pair, and nothing else goes in these cells. No 1, no 4, no 5, no 6. So when I finally look at 4, I know for sure it has to be in this cell and can't be in this cell, which at the start might still be possible because this cell must be a 2 or a 3 to work with these. And so this is an intended break in the puzzle, but my first large digit using my notation is placing a 4 right here. And that places a 4 here, and it places these 4 notes and these 4 notes. And now all the 4s are in the grid. I don't have to look at 4s again because my notation has all the big 4s or the small 4s in every box of this puzzle. This 5 comes across, places a 5 here. These 5s looking up, place a 5 here. I can place 5 notes, and now all the 5s are in this puzzle. So I never have to look at 5s again. There's a 6 note to finish this top box. I can place a big 6 here, place a big 6 here, place a 6 note here, and then these notes work together. 6s and 6s remove column 1 and column 3 at the top, so I need a 6 in one of these cells. This 6 says the last 6 is here. And here's now the last secret of Schneider notation for speed solving. These start as either or notes. If you take away one of them, you know for sure what it is. So that 6 overwrites the 4. That 4 moves to the left. It removes this 4, which now gives a 4 to the right. And this works however you go in the grid. Like this row needs 1 and 2 to finish it, the 2 below sort of gives that space. Removing this 2 forces a 2, removing that 3 forces a 3, removing this 3 forces a 3. All the progress sort of comes from the notes right now. This 3 gives a 3, gives a 6, gives a 6. I'm only looking at my notation. I'm not looking at numbers in the grid. And I didn't mean to type there, I meant to type there. But you get a sense of how fast it can go. And if you want to solve 6x6 puzzles without notation, more power to you. Like I will probably not use notation too often in these puzzles. But it seemed time to finally introduce Schneider notation as we approach some of the hardest puzzles that are going to be in these weeks. Come back tomorrow for another hard mini Sudoku puzzle. And every day it's a new story, every day it's a new puzzle. It's still a 6x6. So really, like you had these other mini Sudoku ideas, like this is how game development goes. You've got new things. They may not match the audience, they may not match the partner, but you're building something creative and taking it to a new place. We've had 1 million people play our Sudoku last week, at least if we track the follower count. I don't actually know the numbers, but like that feels a lot different than a puzzle hunt with 10 people and, you know, a GM Puzzles Earl that has 100 clicks in the first day and 500 over its lifetime. That feels different than Star Battle apps that plagiarize me and have 100K in the middle. Like there's something different in using us as the provider of puzzles to platforms that can do more. And again, LinkedIn is not the end of this story, but LinkedIn has been our first and most important partner. And now Nickely is in the story too. So Queens and Zip and Tango were our start with just Nickely, and Mini Sudoku now with LinkedIn. Mini Sudoku now with Nickely is sort of taking this further. And if 6x6 Sudoku isn't for you, and for sure your Sudoku solving is bad, you could be better at it, you could learn through these videos. But if you don't want to take that advice, someone in your life who doesn't play Sudoku might enjoy these. Your children, they might eventually be better than their parent, their mom or their dad, if you just let them try. Like LinkedIn isn't the easiest platform for children to play on at this moment, but I have some friends whose kids kind of use their parents' account and they can beat all the CEOs too. Like that, I think that's the goal for everyone. Well, I'm a CEO of Grandmaster Puzzle, so you're not beating all the CEOs, but the 1% you're not beating is some fraction of me and some fraction of some other people who they don't really have the time to play puzzles, but chose that day to do so. For sure, there's other stuff coming. But for sure, like, don't judge any single piece of the story. Like, and don't judge the app right now. I'd love the numbers to be larger. I'd love the givens to be dark and the human entered sort of values to be in color or gray. Like, there's a lot that's not how I would have built these pieces. Every single app I've looked at in Sudoku is not what I want. So is that some part of what's coming? Is a teaching platform? Is a game on Steam that's the first 100 million or 1 billion paperclip selling game on Steam coming? I can't tell you everything that's in this list. I have not had to raise any capital to do anything on the slide so far. I've had to be a good puzzle author. I've had to be a good member of the community who can fund teams like Gas. I've had to get this situation with LinkedIn and Nickely started. And I have to just be my honest self. And that's sometimes cheering up when, again, the most important professional collaboration to date just launched 2 weeks ago. don't know what's to come, but please keep watching and please keep enjoying our puzzles. That's this month for Sudoku.